So in today's syllabus, the first app that we will study is Paramount, which is owned by Paramount Global, very established company with a lot of trust and quality. Next app is going to be Must. They have an inbuilt recommendation system based on machine learning and AI, and when I saw their experience, I was like, dude, this is so clean. There's a lot to learn from them. Then we'll have Hulu, which is again a very popular company, majority owned by the Walt Disney Company, and they launched their subscription in 2010. As soon as you open their application, Paramount has this very classic animations of stars flying in. So they've played that star animation in their splash screen as well. Once you enter the app, they have a couple of posters. They have the Paramount Plus branding on the top, and then at the bottom they have 3 CTAs. Out of 3, only 1 is primary and the other 2 sort of look like they're tertiary. And the copy says peak streaming, try it free, plans start at only $4.99 per month, and the primary action is sign up for Paramount Plus. Just below that they say watch free episodes, which is a very important quality right here. Instead of directly selling it to your users, you can actually give them an opportunity to explore your app. In that way, you're not shoving an offer into the user's face. You're giving them an opportunity to actually first see if the app is actually valuable and then decide whether they want to buy it or not. Also, the images are in a carousel. They have 4 dots here. So as you spend more time, you can scroll through other images as well. And I'm not sure, but it is always recommended that this carousel should change on its own as well. Now, when you click on sign up for Paramount Plus, they have a pick your plan screen where by default, I think they've chosen the monthly plan, which is a very good practice. I see a lot of applications by default choosing the annual plan, which in my opinion is very tricky. Obviously, when a user is downloading your app for the first time, that person does not trust you. So when a lot of applications select the annual plan by default, I'm very wary of them because I'm like, oh, you thought you could trick me, but I'm very careful about the UI. So by default, they've chosen the monthly plan. It says save 16% with annual billing. So I wish they would have put this text right next to the annual text because it is so far away. And I also wish they would have made save 16% in a bolder, greener text so it looks more rewarding. And then below monthly, they have 2 plans, essential and premium. And on the very top, they say try 1 week free, cancel anytime. Now this gives the audience a very relaxed state of mind because you're like, okay, by trying this for 1 week, I have nothing to lose, which I think is a very important nudge. But I still feel that they could have made all of this text slightly more cleaner and clearer. So I can see some inconsistencies in terms of the border radii as well, because here they have rounded pills, but here they have sharp edges and there is no line of alignment. So if you look at the screen right here, there is no vertical line to which all the text is leaning onto. So everything has a very zigzaggy structure. But overall, the pricing seems pretty good. And if you were to tap on the premium plan, I really like how they have added 2 more bullet points just below 24/7. Another alternative could have been that they would have had just a single check mark saying everything included in essential and then listed 5-6 more new points, because right now they took a space of 5 bullet points for the essential plan, and when I tapped on premium I just got 2 more extra points. And that might not feel like a very huge improvement, but imagine if they had just a single check line saying that everything included in essential and then listed more small features to fill up the entire screen. That would have had a much bigger impact. In fact, if they were to change the color of this check right here, so for example, if the essential box is blue in color, if I were to tap on premium, it could have been in a golden color. So the first checkbox could have been in blue and all the rest of the remaining points that are at the bottom, they could have been in golden color. So it would have been extremely explicit that if I get the premium plan, these are the external golden features that I could have received. Just to show a quick example, this is an app called Any Distance. And when they try to sell you their plan, they have 3 options right here: per month, per year, and lifetime. Now the lifetime option, the $100 plan, is probably for the decoy effect. It's just there to make the $30 plan look more affordable. But I also like the fact how they have the 7-day trial as a pill on the very top. So again, it makes you feel that, oh, I have very little to lose. Even the CTA at the bottom says try free and subscribe. They also know that a lot of people might want to restore their purchase, so they've given an option for that as well, which is very, very important. So here at the beginning of the app itself, they could have added a couple of their latest movie posters or a couple of their highly successful shows while you're selling the essential or the premium plan, because when you do that, you're just giving the user more and more incentive and motivation to actually buy your premium plan. So when you select the plan, they ask you to fill up their details, and they've asked all the input fields in one go. It would have been so much easier if they would have used progressive disclosure. That is, first ask the name, then someone clicks on next, then you ask the email, then you set the password. Because by giving all of these form fields in one go, you increase the cognitive load. So just to give you a quick example, here is Tumblr. And inside Tumblr, they ask you questions one by one. And they just don't ask you questions in a very bland, basic way. They say, for example, if they want to ask your age, they'll be like, before we go any further, how old are you? And in the subtext, they're like, we'll never display or share this. And then you give your answers one by one, which is a very good way to take answers. That is why I prefer Typeform. Typeform doesn't give you all the inputs in one single go. It gives you those input fields one by one, which reduces a lot of cognitive load for me. Once you've given in your details, they ask you to put in some information about your choices. So they have a genre screen, and it would have been so much better if they were to add movie posters instead of just adding like originals, drama, comedy and reality. Simply because as users, we always scan and not read. And just by using the words, it's not very easy for me to visualize what I would like more, because to be honest, I can see any of this. But maybe at this phase of my life, I'm just interested in comedy and daytime, or maybe in comedy and late night, right? So it is always better to show posters, and they've done this in the shows panel. So when you click on shows, they have a list of all of their movie posters. But one very weird thing here is that all the posters feel like they're disabled. So the alternative could have been that they would have had all their movie posters, and if you were to tap on them, they could have got like a white stroke along with a check mark. So rather than having this disabled feature where I can barely see what this movie is about, it would have been so much better if these posters were in 100% opacity, and probably they could have just selected like one of them by default, which could have been on the basis of the data that they've received from their app. It would have been just easier for me to select the movie posters. Next, once you enter, they have Paramount Plus branding on the very top. They have shows, movies, sports and news, the four main categories that they offer, followed by a poster and then their logo. Now, I know that they've made this just to make it very scalable. So the logo would be a separate PNG file, the background image would be a separate JPEG, but they could have simply increased the size of this logo, because look at this partner in crime text. Look at the Paramount Plus original text. This is so not legible. Like if they were to increase the size of this PNG, it would have been so much better. Next, they have Watch Now, new docuseries now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus, and they have a couple of carousel dots at the bottom. This is cool. Then this is a screen where you can browse all their shows, and I love the fact that you can instantly navigate in between your shows and movies. So if I were to tap on shows on that small accordion icon, I can quickly jump to the movies section. So it's just a nice way to scroll. And if you select specific shows, let's just say you've selected this 1883 show, the coolest feature that I liked about this app is the fact that they have these tabs on the top, and notice how they've added a ramp as well to increase legibility. They have episodes, after show, extras and related content, which is so cool. Like for a person like me who's very research oriented, who's always very interested about everything that's happening, I would love to have a feature like this. And notice how you go from episodes to extras. They actually add like a black bar on the very top just to improve the legibility. Right? So you can absolutely see that this extra panel is above the list. Now, executing this is very easy for Paramount Plus, because this feature might be available just for their originals. So they would have planned this beforehand, that we will have after show, extras and related shows in the application itself. Now let's check out Must. Okay, very clean interface. As soon as you enter, they have an onboarding process where they have these modal cards. and they're introducing you to the concept of how you can share your reviews with friends, and they have their inbuilt AI suggestion algorithm. As soon as you enter, they have this very clean, light UI interface with their posters. And let's just say if you click on Joker, they have this spatial interface right here where you have your synopsis, your genres, and cast and crew. I love the fact that they've added all black and white images. They've also used a lot of emojis to make their pills stand out. Next, I love the fact that they let you explore the application and then in the middle ask you to log in or sign up. So it gives you a lot of time to explore. As we mentioned the Paramount Plus as well, right? It's always recommended to have your users explore the application before you nudge them to make an account. So here you have 3 options: continue with Facebook, Twitter, or phone number. Very important to have a phone number login. It is personally my most favorite method because I don't have to remember any passwords and I can just get my OTP sorted. Once you've logged in, they ask you to create a username, and this is where they've done things right. So instead of giving like a very long form, they're asking you things one by one. Very well done, progressive disclosure sorted. In fact, at the very bottom, they have a subtext that says a link to your must profile will be this. So it is updating in real time as well, and the next button is disabled. When you select a specific director, they have like this big edge-to-edge image. They have a ramp at the bottom, and this 0 of 13 watched is very interesting because it sort of gamifies the entire process of consuming content. I love the fact that they've chosen like an italics serif font for off, makes it look very official, very smooth. If you were to check out Todd Phillips' profile, you will be able to see the fans. I really like how they showed 3 images. So 2 images of the actual user followed by +6. They're not sort of pumping in all the images in one go. They know that it is better to just keep it to like 3 previews. They also have an onboarding process where they basically have like a get started card on the top. So they are nudging you to add movies quickly, follow 5 friends. They have the Zeigarnik effect playing on the left side where that pill is going on, right? So you feel like completing this because you've already taken the first step. Next, they have a feature of track TV series. So you can actually select specific shows and then this app will tell you every time new episodes are released. So this entire app is just to keep a track of what you've been watching. And really love how they have this collections panel right here. So when they have to say the best of Russell Crowe, it is a widescreen card. So getting images for a widescreen card is very tough because most of the movie posters, most of the portrait images are tall or square. So they've used emojis, which has a very unique tone to it, right? Because now it not only fits in their UI, it looks cooler, it looks more unique, and emojis get my attention. Right? Like I can instantly get my attention right there. That 71 likes pill acts as a social proof. So when you see that, 71 people have liked this playlist, you're like, maybe I should finish it as well. So when you open a specific playlist, you have all the posters right there. And you also have filters, right? When you click on the filters tab, you can actually select specific pills. Very straightforward. This screenshot right here is for the X-Files show. So maybe you are browsing through a show. It tells you that there's an 83% match. That ribbon makes it look so more official. And they also tell you where you can watch it with 3 scattered icons. They also have a feed panel where you can see what your friends are watching, what other people are watching. So it's like a Facebook feed kind of a thing. So next, the last application is Hulu. And Hulu, as I mentioned, is a pretty big company, right? Because the majority has been owned by the Walt Disney Company, so they would have some really good talent, and they have actually treated their images and their posters in a very different way. I have never seen this treatment before. So as soon as you enter the app, of course, they have 3 bullet points. Really like the fact that they haven't polluted it. So there are 3 points: groundbreaking originals, watch on this and this, plan starts at this. So they've answered 3 very important questions. 1, good content. 2, accessibility, where you can access this content. And 3, the starting plan, which makes it feel like, I can probably, check this out at a low cost. The primary CTA is start your free trial. Really love the fact that they've emphasized on the free trial part in the CTA itself. And the secondary action is login. Once you enter, they give you an option to select their plan. This is where they could have improved their UI. I feel like when it comes to payment plans, instead of having a vertical list of multiple plans, you should always have like a quick summary or left to right comparison, right? Because now when I want to compare 2 plans, I have to scroll up and down to check what is the pricing and what is the difference. I can't really compare in a vertical list. So they could have really done that. I really like the most popular tag on the top, but instead of a tag, it actually looks like a button. In fact, it reminds me of the Spotify primary button. So maybe if this tag was smaller and maybe if it looked like a label, it would have made more sense. Still not sure why it says Hulu, get 1 month free, then 7.99 per month. I think they should have made get 1 month free in white bold text as well. I somehow feel that the 7.99 tag is overshadowing the 1 month free incentive. I feel like the 7.99 is competing for too much attention. Still don't know why they left so much padding on left and right. They could have panned the entire thing, these 4 bullet points. They could have taken the entire width and it would have reduced the height of this card as well. Next, in create an account, they've made the same mistake. The entire form is visible at one go. I really feel that applications need to simplify the process of account creation. They ask too many details and too quickly. They haven't even revealed what do they offer. Then they give you an option to personalize your profile. The copy says choose 3 or more interests for better suggestions. Makes sense. They're giving you 3 options. I think they could have improved the ramp amount or maybe chosen different images because the accessibility is really bad. But I really like the fact that they only give you 3 options in one go. Because more options really intimidate you. The cognitive load goes high. After that, when you have chosen your interest, you have the option to add 5 or more shows and movies to watch. Pretty good. I think they've put Modern Family on the top, so I think they're relying on data just to guess that this is probably the show that everybody would want to watch. Once you enter, this is where the treatment becomes very interesting. So in a lot of applications, they always use an image and a black ramp. Here they have picked colors from the image itself. iTunes, way long back, iTunes used to do this. They used to scan the entire image and pick one single hex code that would have been accessible or applicable to the entire image. So if I were to take all the pixels from this cover image right here, you would realize that this shade, this grayish bluish shade, would be taking the maximum space. So they've used ramp of that color rather than using a ramp of black. They've chosen this color, which is very interesting and it looks way more fresher. I'm just wondering, why did they not use the same ramp on the very top? Because you can see how TV, movies and news is getting lost in the entire image. So it would have been so much better if they were to replicate the same bottom ramp treatment on the top of the image. Also, I don't think they need to add such bold shadows on the bottom posters as well. In fact, they've added shadows on the kebab menu, which makes a lot of sense. Notice the top right corner of this How I Met Your Mother poster. They've added a drop shadow to the kebab menu. Very important, because imagine if this drop shadow wasn't there, it would have been just not legible. So moving forward, this is where the treatment becomes very interesting. So what they've done is, as you scroll down, you have the mummy poster. Instead of making it like a generic carousel of tall posters, they've picked a very interesting image where you can see the characters, you can see the emotion. Then they've picked the hex code and they've added a black ramp on top of it just to have that watch movie tag. And then they've also made sure that the late night favorite thing, the PG-13 thing, all of them are left aligned. So the mummy PNG is actually a placeholder, right? If you were to check any other movie, you would have realized that all text begins from the left side. So the only reason why this looks misaligned here is because the mummy logo itself is centrally aligned. But overall, amazing treatment, because I have never seen this before. Usually what people do is they become very lazy and they just put like long posters. Even in the next screen, check out the treatment that they've done for Spider-Man 3. Like, look at that red. It looks so cool. And this is extremely scalable, right? Because no matter what picture you put in, you will always have a good logo. You will always have that one hex code that stands out. And by adding that black ramp at probably 15 or 25%, you always have that legibility for the watch movie CTA. Next, they also use the treatment that other applications use as well. So they have in the Bingeable TV section, they have these movie posters right here. Note how they have not shown more than 3 options. They've actually put 2 options that are clickable. And the third option is slightly visible. So you know what to expect next. A lot of applications, even on Netflix or Hotstar, they show 3 options followed by a little sneak peek of the 4th option. But even this treatment works well because, we really have to understand that people need less choices in a single viewport. So that is what Hicks' law says. At any point, it is recommended to just have 2 to 3 options to choose from. So in this viewport right here, you can just have Frasier, Family Guy and UFOs, and look at the treatment they've done for UFOs as well. They've picked a very interesting image not at all generic. The gradient looks absolutely smooth. And I feel like it's not even a linear gradient. I feel like it is coming from the corner like this, because notice on the left side, the gradient is on a higher height, whereas on the right side corner, it is at a slightly lower height. I also like the fact that they've included the National Geographic logo at the right corners. They did the same in the Next Level Chef as well, when they had put the fox icon. Not sure why it is so small. It could be on purpose as well. Could be a conscious design decision. When you go to the movie screen, they have the genre spill on the top. Why did they not have consistent radii? Maybe it's because they just want to make it look different. But I think the border radii could have been more consistent, because the movie radii is too much. In the posters, it's in the midway. And for new and upcoming in action, it is almost very sharp. So slight inconsistency is there. But once you go to the hubs section, they have actually made some very interesting groups. This is a treatment I have not seen in any other application. So check this out. Let's just say that you have a couple of TV shows made by female directors. That is what I'm assuming. So they have made this cute montage, not even a montage, it's a collage of different images. And at the bottom, they have a ramp and it has a title called Made by Her and Details. So when you click on this, it's like a collection of movie posters that can come under this umbrella. They've followed a similar treatment for this series called Who Do You Love? So even here, they have this very cute wallpaper at the back, and then you have these text at the front. One small suggestion, I wish they would have added like a blur overlay, because right now there is so much stuff happening at the background that is competing for my attention on the forefront. So you could have had like crystal clear images at the top, maybe on the header, but as you scroll down, they could have introduced a blur of maybe 30 pixels or 42 pixels, and you could have easily seen the content on the top. So it would have felt that there's a glass overlay on that big collage image, and the accessibility would have been taken care of. Here is an example of a page where they are selling Modern Family. By the way, amazing show. I absolutely love this show. I still feel that it's very text heavy. They could have removed a lot of this text right here. Even below this family comedy tag, they have 4 options: my stuff, share, like, dislike. Too many options to choose from. I feel like if they were to just put the logo with the description and start watching, and maybe just like and share, it would have been better. It's just that you need to keep the number of options to the minimum. I also feel that the ramp has been extended by a very high degree. And because of that, the cover page has taken too much space. So in the end, what is your main CTA? You want them to watch an episode, but that episode is getting hidden at the very bottom. If they were to shift the list slightly to the top, maybe reduce the vertical height of this cover and not do this ramp treatment too aggressively, I think it would have worked really well. Also, not sure how this ramp treatment works with all colors, because sometimes you might pick a very bright color and the logo might also be white. So in that case, accessibility would fail. So not sure how they're treating that. But I really love the fact that when they were showing the listing, they've picked that color, the main hex code, and they've added like a black overlay on top of it. So again, the UI becomes very scalable, and it would work really well for every single show. So the experience, the visual design experience for every single show would vary on the basis of the hex code that they pick. So if you're here for the first time, my name is Ansh Mehra and I create content around design, AI and technology. We've published a free course on UX design. It is a 15-episode course in both Hindi and in English that will teach you the basics of UX from scratch. In fact, we've been making some very cool videos on ChatGPT, prompt engineering and Midjourney. I would strongly suggest you to check them out. With that being said, I hope that you're taking care of your mind and body. This is your host Ansh Mehra signing out. If you like this video, make sure you click on like and hit the subscribe button. I regularly upload videos on UX design, marketing and storytelling.